Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Marvelous Monday. I'm Leslie Watkins. There we go. I hope you're well today. I hope you had a good weekend. It is a beautiful, bright, sunny day, but very cold here in Northwest Connecticut. And I can't believe it's already February 8th. And I don't know where the time flies. So I've realized that I've got some important announcements that I need to share with you so that you can take advantage of them before it's too late. So first of all, tomorrow is the deadline to sign up for my upcoming watercolor and painting with water-based inks class. And I'm going to give you there's the website, dandelioncottagedesign.com. Just go there and subscribe to Notes from Dandelion Cottage, and I will send you all of the information about the upcoming classes. And there's another class on box making and the watercolor card club. A lot of things going on this month, and tomorrow's the last day to register. So please do go and subscribe to Notes from Dandelion Cottage so that I can send you the registration, the information, the materials list, and everything else that you might be interested in. So that's number one. Number two is that today is February 8th, and February 28th is the last day of the month this year, and that marks the end of Sale-A-Bration. And Sale-A-Bration, I know it sounds a little bit complicated, I've mentioned it before, but today what I want to do is see if I can make it a little more simple for you to understand, show you what your options are, and let you know that if you need help with any of your questions, with placing an order, whatever, just contact me and I'd be happy to help you. So let me show you the catalog and see if we can work through it. Okay, so I've got a lot of things to show you here today. And these are my ratty old copies. You can see that these are well used. So I am teamed up with Stampin' Up, and Stampin' Up is a paper crafting supply outlet. And I use Stampin' Up because of the quality of the papers and the tools. As a fine artist, I find that this is the easiest, best way for me to get my students off to a great start. It helps me to be able to get my materials quickly, one-stop shopping. I just go online, I place my order, and the supplies are delivered to my door. So I love that. But this is a really big catalog, and this can be very overwhelming to a lot of people that are just starting out. So today I want to see if I can make it a little more simple for you so that so you might see a way that you can begin doing paper crafting. And now more than ever is a great time to begin doing this for a lot of different reasons, because first of all, it's something that you can do from the safety of your home. It's easy to begin. You don't have to have any experience or any prior skills or trainings or anything at all. Anybody can do this. And it's something that you can share with your family and friends even when you can't see them in person. And also, if you have grandchildren, this is a great way to spend time with your grandchildren, because you can go back and forth. You can send them a card, they can send you a card, and it's a lot of fun. Something that you can do either by yourself or with friends. So that's my kind of 2-minute talk about why it's so much fun to do this. And I haven't even talked about the creativity aspect of it. Many of you know that I'm a watercolor painter, and making cards for people is a great way to take your little watercolors that you may have used as studies or sketches that you can't use for any other purpose, but you can cut them out and put them on a card and send them to somebody, and they're wonderful. People love them. A lot of fun to do. So this time of year, for just 2 months, and this is why I'm coming on today to share this with you, there's something called Sale-A-Bration. So I'm going to get to this in just a minute. The Sale-A-Bration coincides with the release of the mini catalog. So this is the January-June mini catalog. We call it the JJ Mini. And in here are just a few items that are available from January to June, and those items include sweets. So let me show you what a sweet looks like. Here we go. All right, so here's one. It's called Fine Art Floral, and this one is really beautiful. Okay, so you can see, you can make all these gorgeous cards, and what the sweet means, and I'll zoom you in a little bit so you can see a little bit better, is that you can get all of these different items that coordinate with one another to help you create something especially beautiful. So you have decorative papers. We call these DSP, or designer series papers. You have your stamps and your dies. You've got this beautiful gold foil paper, some gold embellishments, an embossing folder, and a beautiful coordinating ribbon that also has gold in it. So that's an example of one suite. Let me show you another one. Here's one that again has the papers, it has embellishments, ribbon, specialty envelopes, and this one comes with a punch. Actually, it's two sets. So one has flowers and dies, and one has a dragonfly and a punch. And so you can make, here's some examples of some of the things that were made with this suite. So those are kind of more elaborate things that you can get. But if you're just starting out and you want to keep it simple, here's a great example. Let me get this out of the way. Here's a great example of a stamp set that you can get with a punch as a bundle, okay? And this is what we call a two-step stamping. So you've got an outline stamp, and then you've got a stamp that fills in, that you use together in 2 steps. And I'm going to demonstrate that. I'm going to demonstrate this set to you in just a minute, but I just want to finish showing you what you can do here. So you can get the stamp set by itself, or you can get it with the punch for 10% off. So that's a great way to save. And let me just show you quickly. Here's an example of something that I made using this set and the punch, and it's a little chocolate treat holder, and it's really cute. It's got a little ladybug embellishment on it. These little flowers were punched out using that punch, as was the strawberry and the leaves. I've used some red ribbon and some little sparkly embellishments to create this adorable treat holder that just has a little piece of Ghirardelli chocolate in there. And then I also used an additional punch, which is the scalloped tag topper punch, to make the area for the ribbon to go through. So the special deal that's going on right now until the end of February, on February 28th, is that for every $50 you spend from either this catalog or the big catalog, you get to choose something for free. So in this little booklet, let me zoom you out so you can see both pages. In this little booklet, and we call this the Sale-A-Bration brochure. Everything in here is free. So here are some examples of some papers that you can get when you spend $50. Here's a stamp set you can get with these cute donkeys, and this is a $50. You get this for free with an order of $50. The same thing here with these papers. More stamp sets. Okay, so here's one that has these really beautiful floral motifs on it, and here's one that has these terrific sentiments on it, very beautiful. More paper. Here's another stamp set. I'm going to be using this stamp set in my upcoming watercolor class and painting with water-based inks. And this one features a hummingbird, a butterfly, and some flowers. And this stamp set comes with a $100 order because this stamp set actually has 17 stamps in it, so it's really big. This is another, make sure I'm getting this on the screen here. This is another bundle that you can get for free, but this one comes with a $100 order. So this is a stamp set and all of these beautiful papers. And I wanted to show you this one because this one coordinates with the one I just showed you. Okay, so here is that sweet strawberry set from the mini catalog that comes with the punch. Alright, so if you were to get this bundle and maybe some paper, maybe some scissors, a trimmer, something like that, you would then qualify to be able to get this stamp set for free. So this is a really, really great deal, and I hope I haven't confused you too much. If you have any questions at all, please post them below, and I will answer them after I do the video. So let me show you what you can do with all these things. I have some paper here. So this is a piece of that decorative paper that I just showed you that you could get for free. I've got some different colored cardstock here, and these colors coordinate perfectly with this paper. So I've got some white, I've got some garden green, and I've got some real red. I've got an envelope. I've got some of this beautiful double-stitched satin ribbon, and this is from the big catalog, the annual catalog. And I also have some embellishments. So these are the champagne rhinestone basic jewels. I have some ink. Okay, so I've got the real red ink that matches this cardstock, the garden green, and I also have some Sahara sand, which is just a very pale kind of a beige color. And I've got the stamp set and the punch. So with these items, I can make a lot of cards. So in one paper pack, for instance, you get about 24 sheets of paper, and for one card you would only use half a sheet of paper. So that's almost 50 cards. That's a great deal. So I'm going to begin right from the beginning today by showing you how to cut a card base. So I'm using my trimmer, and what this does is it ensures that I get a perfectly square cut. So you never have to worry about having a crooked card or a card that doesn't come together properly. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to score it, because there are, let me show you, there are two blades here. So one is a score blade and one is a cutting blade. And first I'm going to begin by simply scoring it so that I have a nice crisp fold. And then I'm going to turn it on the shorter side, and this time I'm going to cut. So now I've got two card bases ready to go. I also have a bone folder here, which is going to help me to get a nice flat, even fold. Okay, and next I'm going to use that colored cardstock to create a mat. And you can do you don't have to do a mat at all if you don't want to, but I really like the way that helps to set off the edge of the papers. So I'm going to start with a larger mat using the green. I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4. And I think you can see how easy this cutter makes these perfect cuts. So this is just a little bit smaller than my card base. Now I'm going to do exactly the same thing, this time with the red. But I'm going to make this one a tiny bit smaller. So this time I'm going to go to 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. Oops, I made a mistake. Let me do that correctly. So get my measure out. 3 3/4. Oh, 5. Okay. Let me try that again. I'm going to make the smaller cut first. There we go. And all of these scrap pieces can be used, so not to worry. So there is the red mat. And I think you can see how that comes together. And I'm going to cut this designer series paper. I'm going to cut this at 3 1/2. And by, just see what I want this to be, 2 3/4. There we go. I just want a cute little square like that, because I'm going to put my sentiment down here. So for my sentiment, I'm going to take my, let me just grab my paper for a second. I was looking for a scrap, but I think I've used them all up, so I'm just going to cut a little piece of paper from this sheet. So let's measure again. And I have about 3/4 of an inch to use here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stamp set and I'm going to stamp out "Happy Birthday, You Sweet Thing." And mount that on my block. Now what I like to do is, if I put my block on my board here, so that that line is straight, I can just line up my sentiment to get that on there straight. And now I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the, I'm going to stick with the real red today. Get my trimmer back. I'm going to be using the measuring on the right side of the track. Just give that a cut. Ooh, see what I did? I cut off the top of my stamp, so that's okay, easy to fix. I'm just going to stamp it again. There we go. Now I want this to be the same length. So this is 2 3/4. So I'm just going to pop this back in here. There we go. All right, so that's the basis of my card. But I'm going to take this a step further. I'm going to decorate it. But before I do, I just want to add, I want to start assembling this so that I can place my decorations better. So I'm using some liquid glue. I'm going to put this in the top portion of the card. Make sure that's nice and straight. Rub that down so it's nice and flat. And the same thing here, my sentiment. There we go. just like that, you have a beautiful original card. Now, I'm going to take this a few steps further because I want to show you what you can do with that punch. So that's the basic card. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stamp set and some paper. This is just the white paper. And this time I'm going to mount up the little flowers. So let me show you a trick. I used that punch to just make a little template out of a piece of scrap paper. Okay, so this is kind of a stiff card that was used in some packaging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stamps and I'm just going to place them. Let me do this. Maybe you can see it better if I do it on a colored background. Okay. I'm just going to take my stamps and I'm going to place them in these areas that I punched out. And I'm putting these stamps in here upside down. So the ridged side is facing the bottom, and then I'm going to take my block and just mount them all together. Now what I can do, I'm going to use my Sahara Sand light ink let me just see which way I want to get these into the punch. Okay, so leaf down. I'm just going to stamp this 3 times, just like so. Now I'm going to use my ink. So I've got the garden green and the real red. And I have something here called a blender pen. And what I can do with this, I can use the tip of it to pick up some of this ink and I can use it to color in my strawberry. Let me zoom you in so you can see a little better. So this is just another way that you can use your inks to color in your your stamps with. I'm gonna show you something else. This is just one way. Okay, so you could do that, and you can do that with the green on the leaf. So again, just picking up the ink and using it just like a marker, except that I can change the color each time. There we go. All right, now, but I want to show you how this stamp set works. Because remember I had mentioned that you can use these stamps to color it in. So let's try that. So here's the strawberry. And because I can see through the block and the stamp, I can see exactly where to put that image. There we go. And just that quickly, I can have a colored strawberry. I'm going to do the same thing with the leaf. Start with the top of the strawberry. Now the leaf. There we go. Now, I could, on this other image, I could use markers. We can use alcohol markers. We can use the Stampin' Write markers. You could use colored pencils. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but just to keep the video a little bit shorter, I'm just going to use the one image for today. But I think showing you all these different things that you can do can help you to see just how creative you can get with these things. I'm just going to trim this off. And I can slide this right in here. Get it all lined up. That looks pretty good. And while we're at it, I want to get some more of these little flowers. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch this out. Okay. So these are the pieces I want to use right now. Save these other ones. I'm going to bring my card back in. And I have a piercing tool here that has a kind of a rounded tip. Now if you don't have one of these, you can use anything. You could use a Sharpie, would work well because you've got these rounded tips. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to place that little flower in the center of my hand and just push down on it so that the petals are now cupped. Okay, and then I can take my strawberry and my bone folder and just give that a little curve so it has a little more of a dimension to it. The same thing with the leaf. And I can also pinch that in the center so it has a little more of a leaf shape to it. Alright, now I have some dimensionals here. Let's see, these are the mini dimensionals, so I think that'll work well. I'm going to take the top of this little strawberry and just put a dot of glue on there. And I can bend up these points a little bit. There we go. And let's see, see if I can find my bigger dimensionals. Here we go. So the dimensionals come in two different sizes. I'm using a larger one for the back of the strawberry and the back of the leaf. And I'm putting this towards the stem end of the leaf. And then for these little tiny flowers, I'm going to use the mini dimensionals. There we go. I want my card to look something like this. And just have these little flowers scattered off to the side there. All right. So just press those into place. Peel off the backing. Just like so. Add my strawberry and the leaf. Just going to tuck that underneath there. And now you've got these beautiful little 3D elements. And to finish it off, I'm just going to add some sparkle. So these are the champagne rhinestones, and these are really pretty. They have a kind of a yellowish cast to them, and they're perfect for the centers of these flowers. There we go. So I think you can see that. And finally, let me find my envelope. Here it is. So here's my envelope. Now I can decorate the envelope with a little something, so let's see. I really like this little motif here, so I'm going to mount that one up. And I think I'll do this in green. Let me find a stamp block. That fits nicely on there. There's the back of the envelope, and I think I'll put that on the inside of the card as well. It's really pretty. There we go. All right. So there's a really good example of how you can take a very simple card and just by adding a little more and a little more, turn it into something a little more complex, but really beautiful. And you could keep going. I mean, you could add ribbon, you could add more cutouts, all sorts of things. So I hope that helped to answer some of your questions about what's happening with the mini catalog and Sale-A-Bration, which let me also, excuse me while I lose my voice here. There we go. Okay, so I also want to give you the host code. This is the February host code, which you can use if you're interested in getting any of these items, and that will put you into a drawing for a free prize of an embellishment. So if you place an order of $100 or more, I will also give you a sheet of the champagne rhinestone jewels. And you'll also qualify to be able to get the free, where is it? The free stamp set. I had it here a second ago. The one that comes with the paper, and this is called Berry Blessings. So you would be able to qualify to get these items for free with an order of $100 or more. So it's a lot going on. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be glad to help you. I hope you like the card. And I'll be back again on Wednesday with Watercolor Wednesday, where I'll be painting in watercolors, a special surprise for you. So I hope you can be here then. Stay well, stay creative, and I'll see you next time.